When we go through our problems, God is definitely aware. God is probably just waiting for us to call on Him, and He is ready to answer our call. God has ordered us to call on Him whenever we are faced with challenges that we cannot solve by ourselves. God will surely listen to us whenever we call on Him, and He will lead us through. But truth must be told, we also need to do some things in return. We need to be steadfast in our worship to God. We need to improve our communication with God. We need to talk to God about the little things and the big things that are happening in our lives. Though God already knows everything going on in your life, but you reporting everything in your life to God is sending a message that you want Him to be in charge of everything in your life. There are forces that are committed to making sure you fail in your quest for success. They are certainly happy and you have no idea what you're doing. When you involve God in your life becomes arranged and you finally find a purpose to your life. Give God full access to perform wonders in your life, because if you do not let Him, He won't do it. Living a life dedicated to God is very simple and doesn't require much stress. You can sit back and relax and just watch God do His thing. The mistake we make is that we feel on top of the world whenever we solve little issues without praying to God. We suddenly feel we are now wise and think there's absolutely no problem that comes our way that we would not be able to solve. Of course, God will never stop watching over us because we are part of His creature and God loves all His creatures. God would just sit and watch us as we go through our journey of life if we think we do not need Him. We forget that the little knowledge we used in solving those little problems of ours is from God. When we meet bigger problems that we cannot solve, who then do we run to? These are situations that we need God the most, and we are expected to pray for help. When you pray to God for help, He would definitely help you. God is a Lord of miracles, and He performs a lot of miracles every day in different people's lives. It is evident in what He has been doing in people's lives, even yours if you are being completely sincere. It is just that sometimes we pretend not to see it even though it is pretty glaring. Let God into your life and watch Him make a way for you in your life. God doesn't like people questioning believers who their God is because their story ended badly. If you are a believer and you are having a bad story, you can be sure that this is definitely not the end of the story. God will surely turn your story around, and the people who mocked you will crawl back to ask who your God is, because they would want to serve Him too. The grace is always obvious in the way you see believers live their lives. Once you let God handle everything, your life becomes very simple, and things that usually stress you out no longer stress you. Cry to God that you are dependent on Him and Him alone. When you become dependent on other people, they would definitely disappoint you because no human is perfect. It does not matter the time you call upon God, He is ever ready to respond to you. The duration for everyone is just different because God usually waits for the right time for Him to manifest His blessings in people's lives. Calling upon God makes you a true believer. You involve God in everything you do, and God will answer you and show you the way. Every problem has a solution, but with God, every problem has an easy solution. Putting your trust in God is crucial as it takes a big burden off of you. If you trust in God, every other thing will fall in place. Sometimes God uses these problems to test us, and we fail the test so badly. There is no problem that is above God's power to solve, but He might just decide to use these problems to test our faith in Him. God is perfect and He knows what He's doing at all times. Most times we have no idea He's fixing the problems already. We lose faith in Him and just give up. Most of the time, God does not just solve the problems for us. Instead, He gives us the right tools to be in a correct state of mind to be able to solve these problems ourselves. God has a way of making you feel your power is bigger than your problems. This way, you can go on to solve your problems. Life is full of different problems at different stages. Life gives so many problems that we are expected to overcome at some point. Problems faced will change your life. You can let it defeat you or you can let it develop you. The outcome of these problems depends on how you respond to the problems at that time. It is quite unfortunate that most people choose not to see how God wants to use these problems to elevate us to the next level in our lives. They react foolishly and end up making their problems a bigger one, rather than pausing to consider what benefit they might bring by involving God and growing through the problem. God has been so faithful to you, and He is ready to lead you through the way He has paved for you. God will fight your battles for you and make sure everything is alright. The most important thing is to make sure you are steadfast in your prayer to God and let Him know that you trust and put all your hope in Him so much and want Him to take control of all that matters in your life. This act of praying would be the right step towards strengthening your relationship with God, and God will start to regard you as His followers. God never leaves His followers, and He always comes to help them whenever they need Him. God is a master planner, and He already has everything planned in our lives. All our problems are already solved, as long as we commit them all into His hands. God has His will for us in His life. God instructed us to always pray to Him whenever we have problems. This is definitely for a reason. God will never leave our side after He has promised to be there for us. The mistake we usually make is that we act as if we are all alone. But God is always riding with us, and He will make everything easy for us. Believe your problems are over and trust in God, for He is the only one that can make your dreams come true. This is evident that God is interested in helping us solve our problems and also keep His promise to man. God never fails to keep His promise to man. Life is full of ups and downs. Life is not a bed of roses, and no one should even expect it to be. There are so many feelings to be felt as we are humans, so we process these feelings differently. Being sad is not a nice feeling. It makes you question yourself if your life was ever worth it. Though this is a feeling that makes you appreciate happiness more. Sometimes you just get emotionally down and you feel like no one in this world is on your side. Sad moments might become sad days, which might become months, but you should remember that this would not last forever, as God would always make a way. You might not have a reason to smile for that day, but it does not mean we would never have a reason to smile forever. You should always trust in God, because if He says your breakthrough is here, then you are definitely experiencing your breakthrough with all obstacles already removed by Him.